Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're back with FTRL for round number 6, I think, of GT7, which is at Deep Forest. So, I have experienced this track in the past, although the car was significantly slower than what this is. So, we'll make the best of it. Anyways, pace was good here. I think I did like a mid 25 or something like that. Mid to low 25. So, I do remember that one. This race was not too long ago, to be fair. So, yeah, felt pretty good. It's back to the usual format: two races, reverse race for the second race. So, anyways, I'll take you through a lap of a Deep Forest, and we'll go from there. This is my quickest lap in qualifying. It's actually a pretty good one compared to what my PB is. I take a wide apex here and then swing in. You'll see how drastically different that was in the race. What other people use. Just get on the throttle as soon as I can to get to charge up the hill, and then try and take. I can actually take just a little bit of a lift, and then try and straighten up before this corner, and then again trying to get the car straight. And I did a lot of dabbling with the brake to kick the rear in, because I felt like rotation was it's one of those where you need to get the car stuck in, make it a little drift a little bit. You'll see it through this part downhill. Again, there's a little bit of dab with the brake, and then just kind of kick the rear a little bit just to get through some of these higher speed corners. Probably didn't need to go to first gear for that, but you can see we are following a car in front, so not that is affecting the lap or anything, but it's been a pretty decent lap so far. So yeah, again, I thought the pace was good heading into this one. It was really, I like the track. I was liking how things are going. So this is the only corner I think I really struggle with. Sometimes the car, again, like the hairpin at Japan, try and hard hit the apex there. If you hit the apex, sometimes like the car gets real sloppy and kind of just the back end just kicks away from you in second gear. So that's why I prefer to take a wider entry. Sometimes you're not always hitting that apex there. This would be a little bit of a problem in the race, but it's come across the lines 25.8, I think. So good enough for, I think, P6, which is my best qualifying result of this season, I think. So one of the better qualifying sessions where I can actually get close to my practice pace. So happy enough with that. Anyways, moving on into race 1, we got a good chance for some points. I thought I would use my handicap, so this is sort of double points for both races. So try to do that as best as I thought this would be a good place to use it, because my pace is good, and I was not quite sure what the story would be at Spa or Dragon Trail. So I thought pace is good here. I know that. Let's use it. So, anyways, 5 red lights. And away we go. A little bit of a delay on that, but anyways, we got a decent start. And looking back, there's actually no real threat, so we're going to try and filter over to the right. We're going to try and take the racing line in, I think. We're close to it. Actually, no, we go for the inside when we almost. Again, T. Smith, then a second T. Smith. There's an exit there. I see Cusker just behind me, and heading through this little slalom. Again, just nice and easy lap 1. Like, I hit from behind. I was like, holy shit, what the actual fuck? I try to wrestle back control, so to speak. I'm still not used to judging. I keep taking my normal braking zones and lines, and just on lap 1, I don't think it's possible to do that. So we've lost a bit of ground here to the guys in front, and yeah, that's a little bit annoying. But I was more so thankful I didn't get a penalty, because yeah, I was more afraid getting punted over. For some reason, I don't know why they did this. I did not press the start button nor the share button to do that, or take a picture. I wanted to try and press continue, but anyway, as a result of the auto pause for a sec, I am now on the back foot heading down to this straight car on the inside. I would just think it's Chubbs. I take a wide entry. Chubbs kind of goes deep. That's the other problem with trying to go deep in that, or kind of swing wide, is that someone will just dive bomb you down the inside. So anyways, we're going to be behind Chubbs for the time being, and all things considered, to emerge from that lap in 7th, not too bad. We're going to try and see if we can go for a move on Chubbs, get a good slipstream down this back straight, or this main straight rather, and I favour the wider line. I can get on the brakes later, but obviously I drift wide and then cut back in. Obviously I knew there was a car there. So yeah, you'll see, fighting other cars, you'll see how this approach served as we go through it. But anyways, the helicopter goes, I actually was scared I was going to get a penalty for that. I didn't, thankfully. But anyways, moving on then to lap number, what lap are we moving on to? Lap number 4. Chubbs has a penalty in front, but it had a similar issue like he did in Road Atlanta, where he just disappears off the face of the earth in front of me. So that's an overtake then, so I won't complain with that. It was good again anyways, because he was in my range and he had the penalty, so happy enough. So we're in P6, and we actually settle into this really nice pace where there's bleed call and blue flag in front. Cusker here is going to go for a move, I think. I wish I'd gone more defensive here. I go deep, and that's going to allow him a chance to get a run on the inside. He's in the 4 GT, and drag racing up the hill. A little bit of contact there. Try and give some space. I should be able to keep this position though. I hold the inside. I use a bit of the gravel and dirt to do it, but no penalty for that. So yeah, we kind of move on. But repelling on an attack from a 4 GT and coming off second better is always a satisfying outcome to a situation. So we kind of, yeah, we just we go from there. Lap number 7, catching up to the back of blue flag here, and but coming off of that corner, very close territory for a 4 GT to be, and I'm thinking, ah, shit, I'm not going to be able to hold this, repel this attack this time. This straight's too long. 4 GT is too powerful, so he's going to have the inside line. I'm going to try for a switchback if I can. Again, you have to be careful because you can see the car. You see the cars in front, cars behind. It's so easy at low speed. You don't have the throttle in the way and the turn in. It's just the car you just lose all sense of shape. Lap number 9 then, actually Cusker and blue flag have a little coming together into turn 1. I'm just following them. I'm not too far away, but it knocks Cusker off, and we're going to nip on by and move back into P6 then. And our pace is quite good compared to blue flag as well, so we're going to be getting onto the back of him pretty soon now as well. And 15 laps in this race, we're not a million miles away. Got a nice little buffer to the cars behind, so we're going to try and have a go here. Heading out again, again you're going to see it again. Look at that, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. It's so easy to do what blue flag did, and that's why you have to be so careful into that corner, because it's so easy to just have that happen and you're on our back foot. So now we're on the attack. This is for P5. This is a good position to be in. Could go onto the slipstream a little bit more. I go to the left hand side. I should have stayed in the slipstream for a little bit longer. He goes defensive. I'm going to try again. Great. I'm going to go for my normal braking line, and I'm going to try and go. I go out, and I try and swoop back in. But the problem with this approach is, I think it would work if the straight was a little bit straighter here, for example. Very difficult to get by here unless you're already side by side with someone. So you have to sit in behind blue flag for the time being. And again, you're going to see again. I had a couple of not chances, but again, you can see how tentative I am, just to avoid exactly what's happening to blue flag in front. So even though he's getting an awful run, it's not too bad because you're so careful about the car behind. But this time we're in a much better place, and we've got a good gap to Cusker behind now, and Aaron's trying to make his way through as well. I get out of the slipstream a little bit too soon. I probably should have gone back in, but again, I thought I had enough overspeed to again drive around the outside because I thought he'd be compromised. But again, because this is my normal line, of course. But again, I go wide and then I cut in, and again, it just doesn't work really in a race. It might work well for better single lap pace, but when you're racing another car, it's just not quite working. And this is going to allow Custer to kind of get back into the frame a little bit here, so which is not what I want, because again, I don't want to. It's kind of pass or be passed in some ways. So yeah, lap number 11 then is later that lap, I think. Again, I'm in a situation where I was before, and I'm not in the slipstream of blue flag, and now I'm now just vulnerable, very vulnerable down this back straight, this tunnel straight, and he's going to nip through. So yeah, tough, very, very tough, because again, you're fighting in one sense, and now you're losing a position in the next. Okay, you see how careful you have to be. Like, I would like to floor it in first, but getting into a lower gear sometimes, again, it makes the car very unstable at the back. Lap number 13 or 15, again, they're having a ding-dong, Cusker and blue flag. Again, if this was a little bit different, he defends it a bit. I had to get off a little bit, but again, it would have been very difficult to get around there, and that's the thing. It's so difficult at this uphill part. You get a better run out of turn 1. It's just not going to work for you, which is a really frustrating part. Anyway, I have to try and make the best of it. But again, I'm getting the feeling that unless they have a ding-dong in front and they hit each other off, then I might not get a chance to make a move. Again, I have to be careful not to slam into the side of blue flag there. And so my exit is a little bit compromised as a result, even though he makes the big mistake. And again, I had the upper. I felt like if I could clear these guys, I would be able to drive away a little bit. But I just couldn't. I couldn't get by blue flag. And I don't have the pace to get a 4 GT on the straight. I needed to be in front of Cusker before, and once he gets in front, again onto the marbles, that was close, man. That was really close. But once he gets in front, unless he makes a mistake, it's gonna be difficult to get by, because there's just no, unless he gets such a superior run, which is difficult. Anyway, then this is lap number 40 on lap 15, so I got one more chance really, but again, it's tough. We're maintaining a gap to Aaron behind, but again, I've got a good speed, and I was saying this literally a little bit longer this time. He goes defensive. It's just hard to drive around, and even, so this is the other problem. But it's just hard to drive around the outside of someone. A little bit of marbles there. Again, I think for one lap pace, I think it's better to go out wide and then get back in, because again, you run up the hill here, where you go, there's nowhere to go. So tough, man. The P7 is not going to be a bad result, to be fair. Like it's a good result. It's just, I think it could have been more. I think it could have been a little bit more had, that thing's gone a little bit differently. So, no one to blame, of course, really. Like, you can't get by, you can't get by. Anyways, go across the line for P7 then. A good result. I thought I drove well and fought well. Tough to keep a 4GT behind once it gets, ahead of steam on a straight. And I just couldn't get by blue flag. So, that was all there was to it, really. But again, encouraging that the pace is there, It's, and the second T Smith not many miles up the road. We've been close with him a few times this season, so yeah. Heading to race 2 then. Where do we start then? Do we start 6th? 6th or 7th? We start probably in middle of the pack, I'd say. Where are we? 6th, yeah. Probably the same place. I think we actually started the same place as we in race 1. So, anyways, to make sure again, I have a rearward brake balance this time. It was a little bit easier. Anyways, Aaron's in front and get a decent start, but not good to hit a blue flag. Actually, yeah, no, we actually got a good start here, to be fair, this time. We can kind of maneuver as we see fit. So this time I'm going to take the racing line and try to drive around the outside if I can. Get us a car on the inside. It's getting a little bit pushed into me. That's Cusker again. You can see that was hella close. Bloody hell. I think that was Beanbag. And I see Cusker's all out of shape, so I have to be very, very careful. There's a lot of cars behind me, you can see there. All out of shape. I'm going to try to drive around the outside. Again, this wasn't ideal having to approximate from their car on the inside, because all the while you're losing time to the car in front because you're not taking the ideal line, trying to fight and give space to another car. But we're hanging in there so far, and it's still side by side as we head down the hill. He's going to get the better run on the outside. Probably, yeah, they're kicking my rear wheels out, my rear back end. I did not mean to go for that move, to be honest. I hadn't planned it. He's going to get the switch back, which is fine. I had not planned it. We've got a tow in front with a 4GT, but can I repel? Is that enough? Is a tow with 4GT enough to repel another 4GT? Well, no, because the second T Smith is on my inside. So again, nice and easy lap 1, just nice and easy. Left hand side, get a decent exit there. To be fair, we can repel that. But again, can we repel it down this back straight? I don't have the tow in front that Cusker has or anything like that. So a lot of cars behind. So let's see where the second T Smith goes. He goes to the right hand side. Right, so I'm defending the inside line this time. Let's see if we can do this. No, there's too much overspeed. And then move a little bit to the left, and then almighty chaos behind. There goes, that's T Smith. There's a second incident in front. It's a big mess. There goes Panda. Lee Call slips up the inside there. We'll have a look at that at the end and see what actually happened there. But a bit of a mess, absolute carnage. So that separated the field a little bit. But now we're behind Lee. But we're in 6th place. So we're in a good little spot. And at this point of the race, I'm hounding and harassing Lee at this, early on in this race. He gets very wide there, heading out of that corner. And again, Lee is a person I've known to be very quick on this game. One of the people I would, when I first started playing, this is one of the front runners. This is, if you want to be somewhere, you got to chop it up with the likes of Lee or T Smith or Aaron, or he's one of the yards to measure against in FTRL here in GT. So the fact that I am, putting a bit of pressure on him is this is encouraging. Like I felt like I could have a go here. Like I feel like there are some races, and there's Spa OC as well, and here, I feel like these guys, they weren't too much, Lee, a couple of tenths of a lap quicker on balance, but it's the difference isn't massive, I'm legitimately putting him under pressure here, so, we're going to see what happens down the inside here, and, yeah, I just can't quite get that. He just has enough of a margin to stay in front there, so... But again, we're chopping up with the big boys here. This is what you want to see. Lap 3, again, I'm still chasing Lee here. I'm not a million miles away, but then Pagani comes through, and then again, Pagani, I'm not going to fight this too much. Pagani is one of the front runners, so, you know, natural that him and T. Smith, you know, they're making their way through the field. So we're definitely quicker than some of these guys in front, like Chubbs, and I think Brett is up there, and I know I'm just as quick as Aaron this week as well. So, you know, I can go with these guys, and I genuinely feel confident I could definitely go with these guys. I was keeping up with Lee. Again, you know, there's Lee, Pagani's past him, T. Smith again about to come. There's we make a place up there. I think that was, I'm not sure who that was actually. It's Brett actually that has an off. So we make a place there. We're going to lose one though, because again, T. Smith is coming quickly. And again, I'm not going to fight this really. He's quicker in a 4GT. I don't think I can really do anyway, but I was going to pick my line. So I go to the right hand side, he'll come up to the inside, and you know, 25, is that 25.2? Like, pace is good. Like, I think that's quicker than my qualifying time. I'm a little bit blind, but anyways, we're going to go, we'll try and go these guys again, and Cusker then, we know we're just as quick as, you know, under normal circumstances. I didn't even mean to go for this move. Hadn't the intention. I made the corner. I think he just got on the brakes super early. Had no intention to go for that move, but that's what just ended up happening. I just took my normal braking line, and it was enough to go down the inside. It wasn't my intention, so that probably surprised him a little bit, I'm sure. Lap number 11. So again, as Aaron's right here, Chubbs is right here. Like a top 4 is right here, and I know I've got the pace. Again, we finished well ahead of Chubbs in the last race. Aaron, we were keeping pace ahead of, you know, checking out a pace of, you know, behind, you know, in race 1 as well. So, but again, if a 4GT gets a run on you down the straight, and they're close enough coming out of a corner, there's no defense for it. Like, you know, you could be just as quick or quicker in the midfield section. If they get even half a sniff down a straight, it's very difficult to keep them behind. And even if you're quicker in the middle sector or whatever, it's just tough to make it back. Again, like the pack is right here. Again, similar story to other races we've done. Gonna slip by, but to what cost? Like they're just gonna pop back through. It's tough, and it makes me wonder, like, should I have picked a 4GT instead? I like this car. I like this McLaren. I really do. So I'm happy with it. I don't want to change it, because I think the 4GT probably is a bit of a lazy car to drive. It just has good straight line speed. I had to be careful here. I had to leave space, and leaving space then, and I had to be careful not running into Cusker, leaves me vulnerable then to another 4GT in the second T. Smith, who finished in the podium in race 1. So again, bit of a wobble there going down the last corner, and like, fucking 4GTs. Yeah, I'm super frustrated at this moment, because I'm just losing out, man. It's 4GT central. Every time I'm squabbling with a car, it's a fucking 4GT, and I can't do anything about it. I feel like I'm quicker, or just as quick, in 90% of the track, or, you know, whatever. Like, I know straights make up more than that, obviously, but it's just those straights, man. They get, you know, to their credit, they get the run out of a corner heading onto a straight, and they can be 4, 5, 6 tenths back, and, you know, they can get that move done if the straight's long enough. Anyway, lap 15, disappointing end, P8. Like, Chubbs finished 4th, I think, and Aaron was stuck behind him. He was well quicker. A lot of us were well quicker. I think a lot of us probably felt that we could have got more. I certainly felt I could have got a lot more from that race. I had just as much pace as the other guys in front, keeping on the back of Lee. You know, we finished less than 10 seconds off the race win. I know there's some overtaking to be done. There's that mess at the during the race. This is the start of race 1. This is what happened on lap 1. This is when I got the hit from Cusker then. Thankfully that didn't send me into oblivion or give me an unjust penalty. That would have been rough. So we managed to escape that. This is then in race 2. This is later on in lap 1. This is Aaron. I think that was, that's Aaron behind. There's an almighty kerfuffle heading down into that braking zone. I thought it was Cusker who caused it, but I think it was actually, there's a collision, I think, with Will and someone else. I think Will's using a wheel still, and you can see the it's a kind of a chain reaction in some regards. And this is then race 2. This is what happened here. Now, to be fair, I think I was at fault for this, because I make a little move to the left-hand side. I had no idea that the ferocity T-Sys was coming at down the inside. He has to get, if he feels he has to get out of it, or you can't stop in time. So I have to. So I think my little late jink probably did put him off a little bit. And then a whole bunch of other stuff happens then as well. T. Smith, the second T. Smith goes far too deep in. The other T-Smith makes contact with Panda. So it's not, there's like 3 or 4 incidents happening here in one go. So, yeah, this is then trying to get, yeah, this is a Panda's view, and then it's all an absolute mess. So this is the second T Smith, who is well clear of me, just gets in far too deep. So that's a separate incident on its own. My little move obviously seemed to put T Smith in a difficult situation as well. Here's the view from Pagani. You'll see it a little bit better here. So they're just absolutely slipstream McGee, slipstream before GT down the straight, absolutely happy days. I'm not putting, like, again, I can't punch a hole. I'm just punching a hole for these guys. Again, they're going to both move to the left, or T-Smith going to move to the left. I move a little bit to the left. I think that forces a reaction from T Smith then, and then he's going far too quickly in that part of the track. He can't stop in time. So, yeah, unfortunate there, but yeah, so I do take some responsibility for that. I think T Smith probably went a little too hot himself as well, but yeah, my late move did not help matters at all, so apologies for that. Here's the standings. We're actually in the better position than I thought we were, to be fair. So yeah, it's so competitive at that part. I did get some extra points because obviously I used my second and last handicap, so double points then. Race 1 went well enough, to be fair, but the second race could have gone better. And again, I left with a sense of it could have been more. Do you know what I mean? Like the first day, like a number of races this season that results have gone a begging, and I've left a lot of points on the table. I know it's my rookie season and all that. But yeah, I've left a lot of points on the table at times, and it's been frustrating. You know, it's been frustrating. But this is all, you know, all good knowledge to take into a first, a proper season, a full season, a season where I've got a season under my belt, get that experience in, and yeah, all the stuff I'm going to be learning from, and we're gonna come at next season with something to prove, I think, because I've shown good pace. I just haven't always been able to translate it into a result. So we'll get there. But anyways, that's going to do it for this week's edition of FTRL GT. Next up is Spa, second last round of the season. So it should be fun. Thanks for watching, and until next time.